Palworld is more than just Pokemon packing an arsenal. It's also an open-world RPG with survival elements, base building, base raids, world bosses, crafting automation, monster taming, and monster breeding. You can go into this game entirely solo if you want, or in a multiplayer lobby if you have some buddies. Since I was able to play this a little bit early, there's tons of stuff I've learned during my playthrough that I wish I would have known dozens of hours before I did, so I'm going to pass those things right on over to you. I'll show you how to get your base up and running efficiently, ways to harvest materials faster, a few powerful monsters you can snag early on, and, we'll get to that. This is Palworld, I'm Alex, and let's dig into the details. Alright, first off, let's talk about one of the most important creatures you should get as soon as possible. Rushor. This guy is not only a pretty easy to get early game mount, but his reckless charge ability can instantly mine things just by running into them. Look at that, 28 stone. No pickaxe required. This works just on regular stone, also works on these ores, which you will need a lot of. I'll splice in some footage here of like getting a combo move. When you're mounted, you can still zoom in and use your weapon up here. You can also throw capture spheres, so you don't even have to dismount to use that. Also, when you're mounted, it gives you immediate access to the creature's special attacks, which you can manually aim. Like there, I have Power Bomb and Stone Blast. This is like an Earth Shotgun. Sorry, Depresso. To get yourself a Rushor, if you head northwest from the starting location, let me zoom in here. So you start down here. If you just go northwest a little bit in this section, you'll easily find one there. Alright, right there's one, and there's a few ways you can capture things. You can either whittle down their health, the lower, the higher chances, or you can go for a back bonus if you kind of stealth them. It's only 24% chance. Let's try it with the back bonus. You can also increase the chances if you inflict status ailments before you try to capture them as well. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy? Yeah, he's a good boy. Now, before you can use Rushor as a mount, you do need his hard head ability. In the tech tree, you'll find that down here at 6. Then you'll have to go to the Pal Gear workbench, and you'll assemble that here with some leather, stone, and palladium fragments. And a little bit later on, you'll be able to get an even better mining creature, the Digtoys. This thing is pretty awesome. So it'll automatically start to mine stuff. Also, its Drill Crusher move will just send it into full-on mining drill mode. If you want to get one of these, you'll need to head pretty far northwest of the starting location, up in here. That's probably my favorite creature design in the game. His drills even spin around as he attacks. Love that guy. You can also put down these traps to help you capture. I'm going to put down one of these basic hanging traps. And if you get somebody to walk into it, come on. Come on, Chickapee. Come on, Chickapee. So you can either try to capture them like that, or you can actually continue to whittle down their health beforehand. Get them as close as possible. And I got them. You don't have to worry about wasting these, because if you don't use them, you can always just go in here, hit disassembly mode, and you get all of your materials right back. That applies to any structure. So when you're first starting out, one of the most important things you need to put down is a logging site and a stone pit. These are going to automatically get you some stone and wood with you doing pretty much nothing. Your creatures are the main automation of your base, and they're going to assemble things, they're going to work on things, they're going to fire kilns, all kinds of fun stuff. I also recommend you put a storage chest right in between, right in front of both of these. Because there will be a point where you go to pull out some of this wood or stone and you all of a sudden have like 300 stone in your inventory and you cannot move. This allows you to extract it, put it in your storage, and then your base can pull off of any of your storage. If you want to make a certain creature just work at one single spot, you can pick them up and throw them at it. As you can see over there on the left, fixed assignment to logging site. Now that guy's permanent job is to smack that wood. This will work with pretty much anything. Like, I made a defensive bunker here, so let's pick this big old guy up, throw him at that, and now he is our permanent defensive lookout, because your base will get attacked from time to time. Oh, I'm getting raided by fangirls who can't contain their love. What? This game's weird, guys. If you're not manually assigning your creatures, they're going to do one of these things they're good at, listed over here in work suitability. Kindling is to power fire sources, planting is to plant fields, handiwork is to help construct and build things, lumbering is to chop down trees and stuff, medicine production will help you construct medicine at that workbench, transporting will move dropped items into a nearby storage chest, watering will water plants, generating electricity will power electric devices, gathering will get things like seeds and berries, mining will mine stone, cooling will power things like refrigerators, and farming is creatures at work at the ranch. I'll get more into the ranch later because that's an important mechanic. Also, you need to make sure you have plenty of beds for everybody in your base and some food in your feed box, which I have none of at the moment. So let's throw some fried eggs in there. Then creatures will stop by and have a little snack when they're hungry. Depending on the type of egg you put in these incubators, they're going to have different requirements. Like it says, seems a little cold. And if you try to satisfy those requirements, like I'm going to put a campfire right next to this, it'll speed up the time it takes for the egg to hatch. I took it from 8 minutes down to 5:30. It's still a little bit cold. I could put some other fire sources near it and speed it up even more if I wanted to. That's fine for now. Once you get to the point where you start having some guns, you're going to need a lot of ammo, and ammo takes forever to craft. That's where the Rib Bunny comes in. I like to get one of these and permanently assign them to one of my weapon workbenches. They have the skill Skilled Fingers, where when they're in the base, increases work efficiency when working at the weapon workbench. So I make sure I always have some ammo in the works because they're going to rapidly build that over time and have a nice little stock when I come home. You can find one of these over in the east section of the map, the northwest, and also just the kind of southwest over here. Now let's switch over and talk about some combat creatures you can get towards the very, very start of the game. Here we have Fox Parks. Fox Parks? Fox Sparks. But you can pick this thing up and use it as a freaking flamethrower. Kinda ridiculous, but I kinda like it. You can find one of these really early on if you just go northwest a little bit from the starting area. You will need to unlock and build its harness though before you can use it as a flamethrower. It takes a long time until you get your first gun, but you can get a creature that kind of gives you a gun. This will get on top of your head, and when you hold attack, you can use its assault rifle. It doesn't even have to be a weapon in your hands. It could be something like a pickaxe, but just hold down swing and there you go. You got an early gun. You can get one of these lift monks if you just go northwest a little bit of the starting area. You will have to be at 11 tech to get the upgrade to be able to shoot that thing. You probably also want to get a flying mount as soon as possible, so let me show you how to get a Nightwing. This lets you ride it for a little while in the air. It doesn't have a ton of stamina, but is pretty useful for getting around. If the bird's about to run out of juice, you can actually jump off and use your glider using your own stamina so you can travel a little bit further. These can be found in a lot of places. Again, the very popular spot northwest of the starting location. There's a big spawn of them over there. There's some to the northeast, the southwest, and the northwest. You will need to get their saddle at technology level 15. This next one is going to change how the glide works. With the Gale Claw, you actually use that instead of a glider. This is a bit faster, and you can shoot while you're using this. This is a good combat ability because you can have an entirely different creature out and still be able to use this glide mid-combat. And it's just a really fast way to get around and you can still shoot. You can also combine this glide with the built-in sliding momentum. So if there's a slope, you can slide down it in this game and gain much faster speeds than normal. So if you use this before initiating that glide, it's going to give you a little bit of a speed boost and you can travel even further. I'm hungry. You can find some of these in the northwest section from the starting area. You will need to be at tech level 23 to use this as a glider, though. Now I'm going to hop over to my secondary base and show you what I've done here. This is something you can consider doing with the ranch mechanic. So over here, this is purely just for farming items. I have some ranches here and specific creatures that are just going to poop out all this stuff in the ranch. I can just run around and collect it. So over here on this base, all the creatures here have the farming work suitability. And what that means is when they go into the ranch, they're going to spawn some of their possible drops. Like I have one of these things making me flame organs. So I just collected some of those. I got 8 from that round. But that's how they're able to just hang out in here and spit out useful items. Let's talk about the meat cleaver. This thing's mean. Beware. So you know how when you capture a creature, they drop their materials? Well, you can get a double dose of materials if you use the butcher knife to butcher the creature. That is not my censoring, that is the game's censoring. But doing so will, drop you whatever that creature drops again. That one used to be a boss, so yes, I got the boss materials again. And the final thing I want to mention is these elemental horses. You can ride these, and they have a special property where they modify your attacks with their element. So on this guy, all of my attacks are going to be electric. So if you're really trying to exploit the weakness of a boss or something, you can use these as a mount and all of your attacks will change to their property. If you need to know what the elemental matchups are, you can find that in the survival guide here towards the bottom. So grass beats ground, ground beats electric, electric beats water, water beats fire, fire beats grass and ice, ice beats dragon, dragon beats dark, and dark beats neutral. Neutral, of course, is neutral. So I think that pretty much covers the basics, guys. There's tons more to this. There's creature breeding, there's creature combining if you have multiples of the same type. You can also enhance pals where you can modify their stats somewhat. This game's just chock full of systems, mechanics, things to do. So if you like the creature collecting and base building and some survival mechanics, check this out. It's pretty fun. Alright guys, thanks for checking this out. Let me know what you think of this, and I'll see you next time. Ooh, that's new. Haven't seen that.